Hello everybody, and welcome back to my home here in East Tennessee. I thought that I would do a Tolumnia update today. I'm just going to show you some things that are in bloom, some things that are about to be in bloom, and some unusual things with my Tolumnias. As you all see, my Flyer Ghouls is just, ooh, it is so pretty. And then the Gyrifirma Barbie is gorgeous with these maroon blooms, and I've actually seen pictures of this Tolumnia, and it can express itself as this deep burgundy color. These are both just doing so very well. We come over here, and here's this little tiny Tolumnia. This one is Gyrifirma Dalmati. Look at the size of this plant, little, and this big long spike. It has kind of cracked me up, and the spike just keeps getting longer and longer. So that one has done just really well. Then here's my Gyrifirma Cardinal bird, and it has kind of a climbing habit. As you see, the new growth is kind of growing just right on top of the old growth. So yeah, that is very different. This one is Gyrifirma Rainbow Strawberry. Okay, here's the deal with this one. It has grown. It is beautiful. It's large. It hasn't bloomed. Some of you have asked me, what do you do when they don't bloom? Well, most of mine have. I'd say that 2/3 of mine have bloomed. But then there's some of these that, see, like this one's a whole lot bigger than this little guy. I've had to prop this one up. Another thing that's interesting about this one, I could not keep this one watered. So I placed it on a wick. So it is self-watering. That was a whole lot easier than me trying to keep it watered every 2 days when the heating system was on a lot over the winter. So yeah, that's what I did there. If you want to see how I place things on a wick, I have a video that I placed an African violet on a wick. It's the same exact principle, and I'll link you to that in the description box below. Okay, so here we go with the little Gyrifirma Rainbow Strawberry. I'm sure it's going to bloom sometime this summer. The other thing about them blooming is I believe they have their own little season that they bloom. These don't all bloom at the same time for me, anyway. Okay, so here we go. This one is Gyrifirma Orange Spread, and I was looking at it thinking it wasn't doing anything, like nothing. And then all of a sudden, I get this new growth. Yay! So it's going to be fine. Here's its new growth. So I really like this one. I want it to bloom, so I'm glad it's doing well. And then this poor little guy. This one is Tolumnia Gyriflower Yellow Mask. And I believe that I went too long without watering him for a while. He is on a wick as well. I'm trying to just get him to do something, but as you see, he's just sitting there and he's kind of puckered up. I'm hoping that he recuperates. So this is kind of an overview of the different kinds of Tolumnias. Well, the shape that they're all in. Most of them are in really wonderful shape, but then I have the one that I'm just saying, okay, you're going to bloom. You're going to bloom. So what I'm doing with these is, you know, I have a place here in my kitchen where I keep the ones that are blooming so that I can see them, and they grow under just LED light. But I also have some western facing windows in my dining room and in my kitchen. And while they're not blooming, I'm trying to give them just a little bit more light. When I bought some from Kroll Smith back in the spring, they said that they give theirs quite a bit of light, more like Cattleya light. So I've been trying to give them a little bit more light. They grow faster that way, at least. So I'll let you all know how that works. Okay, as far as fertilizing, what I'm doing right now is I use MSU fertilizer, and I'm using it at a rate of about 225 parts per million every other time that I water them. Another thing about keeping these watered is that, like, when your air conditioning system turns on a lot in the summer, or when your heat system cuts on in the winter, you have to water these more often. During the middle seasons, the in-between seasons, like spring and fall, I water them about once every 6 or 7 days. When the heating system cuts on, it's every 5 days. And like I said, with this little guy right here, that I put on the wick, he was drying out really fast. That's just he's in just a tiny little 1-inch pot, if you can imagine that. And I have all of these growing in New Zealand spag moss with a bark topper, because I get cyanobacteria really easy in my very humid area here if I don't do that. And so I get those. I tend to have problems with cyanobacteria if I don't top them off in a layer of bark. So I get my spag moss and my orchiata bark that I top this with from my sponsor, the Orchid Supply Store. And it's spring, and this is a great time to repot. I just repotted this one right here yesterday. And yeah, the spag moss that I had it in for 1.5 years was still perfect. I couldn't believe what great shape it was in. It just makes such a big difference. The quality of your bark and your moss, it's just going to make your life so much easier. It's so much more long-lasting when you use New Zealand spag moss and orchiata bark. And if you place an order from the Orchid Supply Store, make sure you use my coupon code AMY for a 12% viewers discount, and then you get free shipping if you're in the United States. So that's a great deal. So the question is for today, what am I doing with the ones that aren't blooming, or the ones like the little orange spread here that's just, you know, it's coming along, it's rebounding, it's coming along. They get a little bit more light than the ones that are here in my kitchen just under LED light. And what I mean by that is I place them in a window that receives dispersed light, and I have them under LED lights for 12 hours a day, all year long. It just works for me. As you see, I've gotten really good results from that. And these little self-watering pots that I got, that I have this one on, you know, with the wick, I got these from Amazon. They come like, I believe, 6 in a pack, and it keeps, I don't know, it's just perfect for the size of the pot that you use these with. Like, this is a 2-inch pot, so I had to get a little cute ceramic pot. But this pot is a 3-inch orchid pot, and they just fit right down in there. They're not too tight. They're very easy. And I like to make sure everything is opaque so that no cyanobacteria forms. And I hope that gives you all some really helpful information. Let me know how your all's Tolumnias are doing. And I've heard from several of you who just, you know, you're about as crazy about them as I am. They're small, they're compact, they're inexpensive. The ones that I've bought here are between $12 and $15. I mean, that's a lot of color. That's a lot of cuteness for that much money. So I know that you all are enjoying yours as well, but let me know how yours are doing. And before I end the video, I would love to say the blessing over you, your families, and your plants. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. You all make it a great day. We'll talk to you next time.